What's up, Dolphin fans? This Dave here to give you the recap and my opinion of the Wildcard playoff game against the Buffalo Bills. We lost 31-34 in a game that I think we could have won despite the mistakes that we made in the game. Our defense played hard enough to win, in my opinion. They created turnovers, and I really can't blame them entirely for this loss. Offensively, we couldn't get nothing done on the ground. And it was clear that without Raheem Mostert, we're pretty much a one-dimensional offense. And some of that could be attributed to the fact that we had to pass a lot to try to keep up with Josh Allen. But I got to fault Skylar Thompson because he threw 2 interceptions at the wrong times and at the wrong part of the field, which put Buffalo in easier positions to score. Based on what I saw. And surprisingly, our wide receivers didn't do nothing to bail them out. They was dropping passes. That one pass to Waddle in the first quarter, I think maybe his eyes got caught in the sun and he couldn't really see the ball that well, and that's why he couldn't secure it. But still, that was a catchable ball that should have been made. And I definitely think if Tua was playing this game, it would have been a much different outcome. We've closed the gap on Buffalo. We can beat Buffalo now. You know, we already cracked the code against the Patriots last couple of years. But this year, I believe not only from the win, but even from these 2 losses, Buffalo got to deal with us. They got to worry about us next year. And I believe they scared of it next year because we're going to be locked and loaded. And I think we're going to be much better. And they're becoming beatable for us. With this Bills win, they remain at home next week, welcoming either the Jaguars or the Bengals. I think it's the Jaguars they're going to play at Highmark Stadium. Well, actually, yeah, I think it is. I think it's the Bengals that they play at Highmark Stadium next week. And for us, like I said, we're going to have to see what's up next year. We're going to be a threat next year. A lot of the teams around the league know it. The defensive coordinators know it. The offensive coordinators, they're seeing us up and coming on defense. And, you know, we had a lot of injuries on defense, you know, that changed the way Boyer likes to call plays. You think about Nick Needham, him not being available, that hurt us. Nick is a great tackler as a slot corner, and he's good against the run. So I believe not having him made it to where Josh couldn't call certain packages in certain run scheme situations. And not having safety Brandon Jones available, not only for his blitz pressures, but also for his coverage. He's got good coverage, you know, for an up-and-coming safety. And don't get me wrong, I do like Eric Rowe. Eric Rowe has definitely been beneficial for us covering tight ends. Last year, Eric did a great job. This year, I'm not going to say he did a bad job. He just didn't do enough to elevate us as a defense, you know, to that second level. And maybe it's because he didn't have his comrades with him, but I just think that Eric Rowe, having been and played with the Patriots and being a veteran in this league, could have did more to slow down some of these tight ends that we had to face, especially Dawson Knox. And I think not having Byron Jones available also hurt us. Him providing sticky coverage on wideouts in front of him on that other side probably is what, and I've said this before in another video, I believe that's probably what, you know, why Xavier's numbers are not nearly where they should be, or why his production doesn't look the same this year. It could be because Byron Jones is not there on the other side. Yeah, Byron wasn't getting a lot of picks, but he had sticky coverage and made it to where, you know, Boyer was able to maybe swap Howard for the receiver that he was guarding and swap him on the other side. And, he, you know, there was a lot of things that he was probably able to do with having Byron in the lineup. But I believe 2023, this year, this season, we're going to be fully manned and we're going to be ready for battle. And it's a lot of videos that I got on the way coming, talking about this team, not just, you know, some takes that I give, my hot takes, my opinions, but also the draft, free agency, salary cap, all of the press conferences, all of the media avails. I got all of that coming up. All y'all got to do is just stay tapped in, stay tuned in to the channel. And I want to say shout out to all the subscribers who subscribed to the channel already, that supported me. This is my rookie season as a Dolphins content creator and as a Dolphins football talk analysis representative. This is my first year doing this, and I've gotten a lot of love and support from my family members, from my friends, and from just all of y'all out there who are new to the channel. I really appreciate it. Shout out to all the Facebook groups for sharing my posts, sharing my videos with the communities. I really appreciate y'all. And we got more seasons, more to come, more coverage of the Dolphins. So y'all stay tapped in again. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button and make sure you hitting the notification bell so you can hear it first. Let's break down the quarters. First quarter, we won the toss, but we deferred to the second half and kicked to the Bills. After the touchback, the Bills benefited from a holding penalty on linebacker Jerome Baker. And Bills quarterback Josh Allen looked deep to Khalil Shakir, I had him on my draft board last year as a slot receiver that maybe we could have added. The Bills ended up adding him, and he did a good job of making a play for 17 yards. They followed that up with a 14-yard pass from Allen to Diggs. And then after carries from running back Singletary and 2 yards from running back James Cook, who had 3 yards, Allen then scrambled for 2, and then he fumbled the ball out of bounds. That set up a 4th and 3 from my 32-yard line, and then Allen looked towards wide receiver Cole Beasley on a 4th down attempt because they went for it, but it was incomplete, and it gave us the ball on downs. We got the ball at our own 33-yard line with running back Jeff Wilson Jr. starting, and I told y'all on the keys to victory that I thought that he should have started, especially with Mostert being out and Ahmed having to go in his place. Normally, I think it's good to start with Mostert, but since he was out, we had to lean on Jeff Wilson. And this game also showed me that Jeff Wilson is probably not the power back that I need him to be. And I can't really say that he's a lead back type of running back at this stage of his career. Maybe in a couple of years, if he could show that, but he's not a lead back that we can really depend on as the bell cow. And, you know, he may not even be the right power back for us, even though we have him in that role. But we had 2 incomplete passes, including a second down pass deep to wide receiver Jalen Waddle that was dropped. That was the pass I said where maybe the sun was in his eyes, and we was forced to punt on a 3-and-out possession. After the punt, Buffalo started at their 27-yard line, but quickly moved the ball toward our midfield with a 20-yard pass from Allen to Diggs. Then they had a short pass to Diggs for 2 yards, and then we were able to sack Allen. Jerome Baker got the sack for a 7-yard loss. We brought an all-out blitz on 3rd and 15 with Allen drifting back, and he got the arm strength to be able to launch it even off his back foot, and he was able to find Diggs on a 52-yard bomb. And in the Facebook comments, I heard a lot of fans, you know, talking bad about Xavier Howard and being critical of him. Listen, this is Stephon Diggs. He's not just an average receiver. He's a top 10, top 5 receiver. Yeah, Howard is a top 5 corner, and he made the Pro Bowl this year. But I mean, this is Stephon Diggs. You know, he was doing this at Minnesota. He's a tough cover for any cornerback. I don't care who you put on him. Tre'Davious White. It really don't matter. You know, he's a tough cover. So you got to live with that. And I told y'all on the keys to victory on defense, I would still put Howard on him every single time, even though I know he's going to get beat. Why? Because Xavier's also going to make his share of plays, and he did in this game. On 1st and goal, at our 6-yard line, Allen rolled to the right, threw a laser to tight end Dawson Knox on the right corner of the end zone for the score to put them up 7-0. In the preview video, I also told y'all that one of my keys to victory on defense was keying up on tight end Dawson Knox and trying to find a way to take him completely out of the game. I knew they was going to look for him in the red zone. They looked for him twice, was able to get a score right here, and you're going to see they're going to find him again. After the touchback, we tried to answer back. We picked up 2 yards on a 1st down with a Wilson run. On a 2nd down play, Thompson rolled out to his left, and he was looking for Tyreek Hill, but he was picked off by Dean Marlowe, and the Bills took possession. It looked like he just didn't see him in the vicinity. He didn't see that he was going to be able to jump that route, and he tried to fit the ball in over the defense, and he wasn't able to do that. And that pick that's the pick. That's one of the picks that I told y'all that put us in a bad situation. It put us behind the 8 ball, and it helped them get the advantage from the start of the game. If you're gonna play Buffalo, you knowing that they're gonna score, you can't make mistakes like this. You cannot make mistakes like this. That's the difference between a quarterback with experience and a quarterback that doesn't have experience. Tua doesn't make that interception, in my opinion. If he was to make a pick, it'll probably be later in the game, not right here, when it's going to give them an easy advantage. And they took advantage. It put them at our 23-yard line, and we got an offsides penalty on Baker. Then Allen found Shakir for 3 yards, and then Singletary converted a 3rd-and-1 play with a 2-yard run. And then they ran an RPO play on the next snap with Cook taking the ball 12 yards for a score to put them up 14-0. Then they kicked the touchback. We tried to answer back. Jeff Wilson picked up 6 yards on the first play, then picked up a yard on 2nd down on 3rd and 3. Thompson pump fake deep toward Hill. Then he found Mike Gesicki for an 8-yard gain and a 1st down. And Thompson threw an incomplete pass toward Hill on the next play, followed by Dolphins, us calling a timeout to avoid a delay of game penalty. After the timeout, Teron Armstead was called for a false start penalty, and then Hill dropped a pass attempt from Thompson. Then Thompson looked deep to Waddle on 3rd and 15 with a pass broken up at the last second by Tre'Davious White, and that led to us punting again. Second quarter, Allen found Diggs for 14 yards as he avoided an all-out blitz that Josh Boyers sent on 3rd and 2. And then Singletary picked up 2 yards on a 1st down run, moving the Bills to our 13-yard line. And then Allen tried to find Knox in the end zone. He did find him, but it was ruled an incomplete pass. Again, I told y'all in the red zone, that's who he gonna look for. 3rd and 8, Christian Wilkins and Zach Seiler combined for a sack. They've been getting pressure all year. And with assists from linebacker Jalen Phillips, he also was in on the pressure. That set up a field goal. Bills kicked it and made it 17-0. After a kickoff out of bounds, which gave us good field position to put us at the 40-yard line, Thompson held in a pocket as the pressure came around him and found tight end Smythe for 20 yards. Then running back Salvin Ahmed picked up 5 yards to move us down to their 35-yard line, and Hill he did a nice run on the jet sweep for 9 yards. And then Thompson nearly threw an incomplete pass as he looked to the flat for Ahmed, but he was hit as he tried to throw, and the ball kind of floated, and luckily it hit the ground. That could have been a turnover. Then Skyler was sacked for a 9-yard loss by Matt Milano, and on 3rd and 19, he was getting flushed out of the pocket, kept looking down the field to find Tyreek Hill, who turned an intermediate throw into a 20-yard gain and a 1st down. After a 1-yard run from Ahmed, Boogie Basham ended up sacking Skyler. He tried to throw a screen pass, but he wasn't able to get it off. He got sacked. Then Skyler threw to Wilson short, but he dropped the ball, and Sanders had to come in and kick a field goal to make it 17-3. On the first possession after the field goal for the Bills, James Cook ran for 9 yards, then followed that with a 13-yard run. Near midfield, the Bills looked deep to John Brown, he's an old weapon that Josh Allen used to have. They brought him back. Like I told y'all in the preview, he's looking downfield to John Brown. He's looking downfield on every play, but you got to worry about the speed of John Brown. And we did a good job of covering it. Xavier Howard picked off the pass at the 3-yard line, and then he returned it 49 yards to the Bills' 48-yard line. So the X of O came back on a few plays this game, and he played a pretty good game this game. We had some offsetting unnecessary roughness penalties after the play was called, and it was a shoving match that broke out, but it gave us the ball in good position. But we didn't capitalize. Again, we could have made that a touchdown. Instead, we ended up kicking a field goal to make it 17-6. Next, Cedric Wilson had the best return as a Dolphin this year. He returned it 50 yards after the Bills had a 3-and-out. And that also was another opportunity that gave us the ball at Buffalo's 27-yard line. And we had an incomplete pass. Then we got called for a false start, backing us up into a 2nd and 15 play. Then Skylar found Hill on a quick stop route down the sideline, picking up 13 yards. On 3rd and 2, Thompson short hopped the pass intended for Waddle. And then on 4th and 2, it looked like we were going to try to convert, but we called a timeout. And we were going to go for it, but we chose to kick another field goal, and that made it 17-9. So, 2 opportunities to take the lead and really solidify ourselves as being, the dogs in this game. We didn't do that. We settled for field goals, which was the difference of the game in the first quarter, in the first half, as you can see. I mean, it could have easily been 21-17, but instead it was 17-9, which still had us in position to maybe tie it. And we did tie it, which I'm going to talk about, because later in the second, Thompson found Gesicki in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. He threw to Hill for a 2-point conversion. That did tie it 17-17. But again, we could have been up. The Bills answered that with a field goal before the half. Somehow we allowed them to drive down the field in a short period of time and kick a field goal to make it 20-17. Third quarter, we get the ball and we started the half on a 1-yard run from Jeff Wilson, but followed that up with 2 incomplete passes and ended up punting after going 3-and-out. On the first play of the half of the Bills, Josh Allen dropped back the pass with safety Eric Rowe getting a clean blitz off the edge, and he was able to sack Allen with Allen fumbling, and Zach Seiler was able to get the scoop for the loose ball and returned it 5 yards for a touchdown. That put us up 24-20, and that gave us the lead. Buffalo was determined to try to answer back, so they started on their own 24. Josh Allen found Gabriel Davis for 8 yards on a first down. Then Singletary picked up 5 yards, 12 yards, and then 3 yards on 3 straight runs. And after that, Josh tried to complete passes to Diggs, but he had 2 incomplete passes, and we forced him to punt the ball in a 3-and-out. We get the ball back. We had an incomplete pass starting to drive on our own 20-yard line. Thompson looked deep to Waddle, only to have the pass broken up at the last second. I ain't gonna lie, they DBs did a good job of getting their hands in and deflecting. They had a lot of deflections this game. And we ended up having a 3-and-out and punted the ball. And pretty much what the straw that broke the camel's back was them being able to retake the lead. Allen threw to Davis on the 13-yard gain, moving the ball to our 20-yard line, completed the pass, and then Singletary picked up 2 yards before Allen ran 12 yards for a first down. Then he found Cole Beasley for a score to get him the lead, 27-24. We get the ball back. We started the drive with a 13-yard catch and run from Hill, but 3 straight completions followed us having to punt again. And then the Bills started the drive with an Allen pass to tight end Quentin Morris for 12 yards. He also had a James Cook run for 4 yards, which was followed by an incomplete pass, setting up 3rd and 6. Then Allen threw to Beasley on a short crossing route, which the receiver turned into a 29-yard gain. Then Allen looked to Gabriel Davis to the end zone for a 21-yard score to get him an even bigger lead, 34-24. And then we go to the fourth quarter. Opening the fourth, we started with a pass to Cedric Wilson for 14 yards. Then followed that with a pass to Ahmed for 13 yards. Ed Oliver sacked Thompson for a 7-yard loss on the next play, setting up a 2nd and 18 from the Buffalo 31. We ran a screen pass to Ahmed for a long yardage situation. He turned it into a 20-yard gain. I told y'all throughout this year we should have been using either Ahmed or Gaskin or running back screens. We used them this game and it helped us, but we should have been using them a lot more this season. And then after a Buffalo timeout, Waddle took a flip on a reverse and turned the run into an 8-yard gain. being ruled down at the 1 yard line, but picking up the first down. And then Jeff Wilson was able to jump over the pile for the score on the next play to make it 34-31. So we got a chance to come back still late in the fourth, but Skylar wasn't able to get it done. And that's pretty much how the game ended. You know, we ended the game 34-31. Here's the game time stats. At quarterback, Skylar Thompson completed 18 of 45 pass attempts for 220 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He got sacked 4 times and he lost 31 yards, no fumbles, and he had a QBR of 44.7. On the ground, running back Jeff Wilson, he carried the rock 10 times for 23 yards, only 2.3 yards per rush. He did have a touchdown, but those are pedestrian numbers. And like I told y'all about Jeff, I like some parts of his running style, but the one thing I noticed when he runs is it looks like he tends to stumble a lot. Looks like he tends to stumble or like fall forward, and it almost seems like he don't have the balance. He don't have the balance to stay upright while he's cutting and while he's running the ball. And I'm not seeing enough separation with him with his hands. That's the same problem I had with Gaskin and Ahmed. There's not enough separation with their hands. Mostert separates. You see Mostert breaking tackles. The pass that he took, he broke like 6 tackles. Almost broke every tackle from the Jets. And you know, that's what you need as you know from your running back, is someone who could break tackles. Nobody else did nothing else on the ground. Among the pass catchers, Reek was the most productive. He had 7 wrecks for 69 yards, but no touchdowns, 9.9 average per catch. I noticed with Tyreek that, yeah, he can put up numbers with any quarterback, but Jalen Waddle, his numbers fall off. And he's not as effective when Tua's not in there. And, you know, I understand that that's his dog. They got good field chemistry from their Bama days, and they got good timing, so it's already there. This season was really about Tyreek having that timing with Hill, and he found it against the Ravens, in my opinion. I do think we need to add 2 more wide receivers. One of the receivers we should add should still be a 6'2", 6'3" type receiver who can possibly play that T.O. or Jerry Rice role. This year, I think we've showed we could run the Shula split back system with no problem. We just need a few more weapons, but I do think that Waddle and Hill can play that Duper and Clayton role in a Marino Shula type system. Now I think we need a big A.J. Brown type receiver from this draft that can allow Tua and Mike to run the 49ers plays from the 94 49ers team when they had Brent Jones at tight end, who got the same build as Gesicki and had that 6'2" wide receiver motion into the slot on pass plays and run plays to confuse the defense. Steve Young ran those plays, Jeff Garcia ran those plays, and I think we need that in this offense. And I think we need also a wide receiver kind of like Wan'Dale Robinson or Rondell Moore from the Cardinals. Someone that got some wiggle, who you can use on those reverses. Because I thought we was going to use Eric Nzukama that way. I thought Eric Nzukama, he's 6'2". I thought he could have maybe played that T.O. Jerry Rice role. I even thought Cedric Wilson could have played that role, but he cannot. We've rotated. Maybe that's a part of the game plan, rotating different number 3 receivers in. But to me, Trent Sherfield is the guy. He's the guy as the number 3 wide receiver. And so because he's the guy, if we're going to have him as the guy, then we're missing that. I don't think he has the wiggle, but we could use Trent Sherfield still in a rotation with Craig Kraft and maybe use him on special teams. But I still think we need to try to find somebody, maybe Jarvis Landry. I wouldn't even mind bringing back Jarvis Landry to this team. I might make a video on that. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section on bringing Jarvis Landry back. But Ahmed caught 3 passes for 45 yards. I think we should have been using him a lot more in the passing game. Waddle caught 3 passes for 44 yards. Mike Gesicki caught 2 passes for 15 yards and a touchdown. And then Smythe, Cedric Wilson, and Jeff each had a catch. Our O-line gave up 4 sacks, and Wilson got less than 50 yards on the ground. So I'm going to blame the O-line for this loss, and I'm going to blame them for not playing as good as they should have played. Yeah, we had injuries and we've been injured all season, and it showed this game. But still, since I gotta place blame, I'm gonna blame them. Defensively, we out-hit the Bills by a lot. 70 total tackles to their 57, 47 solos to their 38, 7 sacks to their 4. They did have more tackles for loss than us, though, 7 to our 5, and they had more pass deflections, 10 to our 6. We had more quarterback hits, 13 to their 11, and our defense did score a touchdown, but still, Josh Allen threw for 352 yards on us and completed 23 of 39 passes, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. We did sack up 7 times. Zach Sala got 2, Baker got 1, Eric Rowe got 1, and Bradley Chubb got a sack, which I was impressed with that. Finally, you got a sack, Bradley, but it wasn't good enough to slow down Josh Allen. Here's my Big Fish Ballers of the Week, and this is the final week. I'm going to do a Big Fish Baller video of the year, the Big Fish Ballers of the year. That's coming, but this is for this week, the final week, and I got Tyreek Hill on the list, and this is in no particular order. Tyreek Hill, Javon Holland, Jalen Phillips, Eric Rowe, Jerome Baker, Christian Wilkins, Zach Seiler, Bradley Chubb, Xavier Howard, Thomas Morstead, and I got Jason Sanders on the list as well. Next season, the NFL, they typically use a rotation of divisions each year to establish the schedule. So we did find out who our opponents was going to be. The week-to-week matchups, we don't know yet. That's going to be settled sometime in the spring. But the rotation system allows us to already know, like I said, who we're going to face. And the rotational process has us and the other teams in the AFC East paired with the AFC West and the NFC East next season. So we're going to play the Cowboys. We're going to play the Eagles. We're going to play the Giants. And we get the Chargers again. So Tua's going to get a chance to break that tie that he has with Herbert. He beat Herbert last year. Herbert beat him this year. He's going to be able to break that tie. We play the Raiders also, who's going to probably have a different quarterback. I think Derek Carr is going to be out. Maybe Jarrett Stidham might be the guy. Who knows? That's yet to be determined. We're going to see. And we face the Broncos also, who's going to have a new coach. Might be Sean Payton. You never know. Speaking of Sean Payton, I got a video about him coming up soon too. And I definitely believe that it's going to be a better Russell Wilson. And I wish we would have played the Broncos this year, but we play them next year, and it's going to be a tough matchup because I think, especially if they get Sean Payton as their coach, they're going to be a better team. Now, the other 3 games that we're going to have on the schedule is going to be decided based on the final standings of each division. With the NFL's 17-game schedule, the extra intra-conference game rotates between the NFC and the AFC, serving as the home game each year. This year, it's going to be the AFC's turn to host, so it's going to give us 9 home games and 8 away games next year. So a lot to look forward to. Like I said, I got videos on the way coming. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the game against the Bills. Do y'all think Skylar Thompson can be the backup for us next year, or should we find another backup? I put a poll on that in the community. I think a lot of y'all believe in Skylar, but you do have some fans that think we should get another backup. I think we need to find another backup. I don't think Skylar's ready. I think he does need to be a third stringer for now. And depending on how the backup does next year, maybe we could see also in preseason if Skylar has grown and gotten better, through his full season of work or his regular season games that he played, that experience plus the preseason. We'll see if he's gotten better, but I think we should find another backup, and I would not be mad if we looked at Jimmy Garoppolo as a potential backup. Yeah, it might threaten to his job, but I know Garoppolo could run this offense, and I know that he would be probably the best security valve that we have should Tua go out. I mean, you've seen what happened with Trey Lance. They haven't been able to get Trey Lance on the field for the 49ers. And Garoppolo, and you know what? He's probably going to want to have a starting job, so we may not get Garoppolo, but you never know. He may look at the Miami situation and say, you know what? Tua's maybe a concussion or two away from me really having this job as my job as a full-time quarterback, maybe it's a good opportunity. Or he may look at the Carolina Panthers, or may look at even the Atlanta Falcons, or, even going back to New England. Who knows? He may look at that as better options than us. But we're going to see. We got a lot to be revealed. A lot to be revealed in 2023. But that's all I got. Till next time, signing off. Fins up. TBFN, the Big Fish Network, home for Miami Dolphin fans worldwide.